were at one of these meetings yesterday, and I remember that a lady told you that she had had 8 children, and 4 of them had died in childbirth, or shortly thereafter. But if all of them had survived, she'd have 8 children. And what the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true. So they don't do that, because women say to themselves they want 2 children to survive into adulthood. If she knows that 2 will survive into adulthood, she will naturally bring down her population. And so as soon as she starts to see that getting them vaccinated or keeping them alive during the birth, she won't have as many children. That's what we just heard from this group as well, that the older women had had more children, hoping more would survive, but the younger women are starting to plan for smaller families because they know they'll live.
They all said they wanted 3.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Not
that's
8.
That's what you want. Yeah.
And so if you understand that there's a high likelihood that your child is going to survive, you believe they'll have fewer.
Absolutely, and we're seeing that play out in all the population numbers across the globe. In fact, the population rates are coming down faster than had been predicted 10 years ago.
Greetings upon greetings.
Greetings, everybody. And here's like a little hype today. You went, shh. I'm like, shh.
Really? I haven't yet to take off yet, so.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Just because even the fact that we were just talking about there's so much going on in the world right now, guys. There's so much going on. If you're not mindful and if you're not ingesting the right information, you'll get extremely confused. I can use that now, can't I?
Yes, very
confused,
nice, very nice.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Big up everybody over there, so. You see over there, so yeah, man, are you me?
So, this video, I don't know, Dave, you couldn't really hear it, but when I was listening to this video, I found certain things that she said very assuming. Okay. She said something like, women say to themselves they want 2 children to survive into adulthood. Which women said that? Like, the women in this village said that to you, right? Now, mind you, in context, she's talking about sometimes a lot of these women have a lot of children and a lot of them do die.
Right.
So they're maybe what they were saying is that if we can get at least 2 of our children to live, we'll be wicked.
Right.
Right.
But she's taking it as a whole nother route.
So she said they all said they wanted 3 children. That's what you want. And I said, who wants this? Like, listen to the wording. And this is why we have to be so careful. Population rates are coming down faster than predicted 10 years ago. Who predicted that?
Wow.
Who's making all these predictions? And again, we were just talking about this. Sometimes things are in such plain sight. And because they have flooded us with so much information, we have social media, we have TV, we have Twitter. There's a lot happening here.
Way too much. Let
me streamline a little bit of this for you. So why I brought this up is I actually saw a video. This is another community. Again, thank you to the community for sending me information. Each week now, it's more and more that I'm starting to get from people. So this is just about the fact that, it all ties into COVID.
Right.
Bill and Melinda Gates, there's some funny stuff happening with them that people just don't understand. So I figured I would just clarify a little bit of information that I saw, especially when it comes to do with our continent, Africa. Okay? So let's talk about Bill and Melinda Gates. I have a picture. Yeah, there they are. Okay? So the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, this is from their press room. So the family planning chapter, this is going to be about birth control and things like that and population growth. And you'll see how it ties into COVID in a minute. Includes an essay by Alex Eze, a visiting fellow with the Center for Global Development. So the essay focuses on the importance of empowering women. Listen to these words. Empowering women so they can exercise their fundamental right to choose the number of children they will have when they will have them, and with whom, okay? And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. That sounds good, right? If every woman in sub-Saharan Africa were empowered to have the number of children she wants, the projected population increase could be up to 30% smaller. Again, who are they talking to about these things? Okay, who? So, the World Economic Forum website said that rapid population growth in some of Africa's poorest countries could put at risk future progress towards reducing global poverty and improving health. And this is according to a report by the philanthropist, the foundation of Mr. Bill Gates.
Right.
Who are they collecting? Who is it, Grant? Grant. Yeah, Grant. Who is it? Who are they getting this from? Can you put up that population growth picture for me, please? So this is from Bill Gates himself. This is what he estimated, okay?
All right.
So population growth in Africa is challenging, Gates told reporters in a telephone briefing about the report findings. So let's talk about now, not all this is great, empowering them and wanting them to decide as many children as they want. Now there's a flip story to this.
Okay.
Okay. So in 2010, a former staffer with a government health initiative in Ghana made a shocking claim. A project partially funded by the Gates Foundation had tested the contraceptive Depo-Provera on unsuspecting villagers in the remote region of Navrongo as part of an illicit population experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So they said they were empowering these people,
right,
but practicing experiments on them.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about what they were. So an example, this is an exact example from a young lady who went through this. Her name was Susan, and she was admitted to a public hospital in Namibia for an emergency surgery. So she was 20 years old, and she was unaware that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So when she woke up from surgery, she was told by the nurse they had taken her womb because she had HIV. Oh, wow. She has no children and unlikely, of course, ever will. So the problem with this, Dave, is that her story is not unique. So this has been happening a lot. So the international community of, I think there's a HuffPost, I got it from this article. Here it is. So the international community of women living with HIV/AIDS in Namibia have documented the story. Namibia, sorry.
Yeah.
Namibia. Who did I get that from?
I'm not sure.
Namibia?
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. Wow. Make me feel so always.
Stop it.
So, 15 of women are actually suing the Namibian Constitution to be free from discrimination and inhuman and degrading treatment. So this is happening more and more. And guess who's in the center of this?
Bill and Melinda.
Bill and Melinda.
All right.
So in some cases, medical personnel obtained the woman's consent under duress. Okay. Or when she was going into labor. And in other cases, women had to agree to be sterilized if she wanted other medical procedures to happen.
And, history repeats itself, of course. And as we said before, in regards to how it repeats itself, right? It's usually much deadlier the next time around.
Refinement?
Right? There we go.
Refinement.
Right? It echoes of Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood.
She came up a lot in the articles
Charles
I
E.
saw.
Clark, and as well as Alexander Graham Bell, who also supported the sterilization movement, right?
So I'll flip through here. So the Food and Drug Administration has twice denied approval of Depo-Provera use for contraceptive purposes. So this drug is not even allowed in the States. You're not supposed to use it.
Right.
Because it causes certain
issues.
But they're using it on women in Africa.
Yes. I mean, it's so interesting in regards to it'd be one thing if they went on to the I'm going to say Anglo population or the Caucasian population or even the European population. I'm sure, of course, a lot of people would be up in arms. There'd be a lot more attention, right?
It's crazy.
But of course, walk into, of course, our motherland, right? And some of the poorest remote places, right? And you're not going to have the pushback.
No, you're going to tell these women that they want to have 3 children.
Right.
Who said? This is what I'm trying to say. And then because you're telling them this, now you're actually putting things into their body to sterilize them. And I need to go a little bit further. So our body cells has an article that talked about how the Depo-Provera becomes, I guess, increases erratic bleeding. There's mood issues, loss of sex stress. There's a lot of things that go into it. Can you throw up that article? Did you already throw the article up for me? There it is. So I want to make sure I present these to you guys, so you guys can, of course, take this and go do your research. Look up on all the stuff that I'm talking about, but you need to understand what's happening right in front of us, okay? These people who are trying to help us with the coronavirus. Same people,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Depo-Provera surpasses a woman's own hormones to near suppresses. What's wrong with me today?
It's okay.
Thank you for being here. Suppresses women's own hormones to a near menopause level.
Oh my.
Sterility. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So let's keep going with this. Cyanopress is actually the treatment that they're using, and that contains Depo-Provera.
Okay.
That's what they're using. That's
Yes.
the actual drug that they're using in Africa.
Makes sense.
Okay? So it's been clearly written on many sites that this thing is illegal in the United States and cannot be used. All right? So there's a population research institute that looks at a coalition of family planning partners, including the United States Agency for International Development and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. PATH, I guess their thing is called PATH, Program for Appropriate Technology in Health, all these nice big words. And others are seeking to inject even more vulnerable women in developing countries with risky injectable contraceptives. In many instances, injectables have been provided to women directly through the drugs that are supposed to be administered only by authorized personnel. So people know what they're doing. It's not like these, and another thing too, is these organizations and hospitals in these African countries, I'm very concerned as to why this is even happening.
Yeah.
Because people are knowing that this is not good and doing it anyway. So even for some of our people there,
Yeah,
it's happening.
It all comes down to, guys, to centralization. At the end of the day, right? I mean, you want a bigger voice? Fine, more people have to come together, right? And in this case, the African Union needs to step up.
Something needs to be done, and
Right.
get Melinda and Bill need. This is why people want to put them in jail,
Yeah,
because
of
of this foolishness, and they're getting away with it using the word philanthropy.
Yes.
So let's dig a little even deeper. Just again, I want to go back even a little bit further with this, okay?
Okay.
So in 2014, the Gates said that they were no longer be funding abortion. Okay? They're not doing it anymore.
Okay.
So Gates worked with this abortion organization called Mary Stokes Foundation. Listen to what I just said. Okay. And this is in Britain. They give them large chunks of money. This organization does illegal abortion in West Africa. Okay? These tests are being conducted by Genuity. This is another health project based in the United States. And they're doing work in Burkina Faso.
Oh boy.
The trials involve drugs which cause accelerated second trimester chemical abortions.
Oh.
Bill and Melinda Gates fund this organization. Okay? These expecting moms are giving dangerous abortion drugs and then literally sent off to pass the body of her aborted child in isolation.
Oh boy.
Bill Gates funds this. So I actually have a picture of the donor list because these things are in plain sight. Can you pull up that donor list for me? The Ginty abortion experiments is a donor list I have there. I hope I sent it to you. Okay. I'm gonna have to provide a link for that so you guys can see that. That's what I'm gonna have to do because you have to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
They're actually on that list. Okay. So you found it. Maybe? There's two donors on it. Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation. They've donated $36 million towards the Ginty Foundation. It's going to Burkina Faso.
Okay.
And Bill and Melinda Gates, $26.4 million. These are the same people in 2014 who said they no longer fund abortions. These are from 2018.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's perfect.
There they are.
Yeah, there you are. Oh wow.
So Bill Gates has been on this whole population control thing for a long time. And he did it and has been doing it in Africa. Because obviously he said, and there's been videos where he says this, if the population gets too big, the earth can't survive. We won't be able to function. There'll be too many people, not enough food. So he starts killing off. Well, he's involved with many deaths. Whether they're not born born yet or not, it's still a death.
Yes.
Coronavirus. Why is it that this man is dead stamp in the middle of yet another virus or another incidence of mass deaths? And he's the same one who's always talking about population control. Guys, things are in plain sight for you. Pay attention. With this whole corona thing, there's an agenda there.
Yes.
Be very mindful of this. We'll talk more about this in other shows. But when we come back, let's talk about the agenda here in Toronto. I think we're talking about face masks. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and the decision on defunding the police.
Is that, yeah, and Dave's gonna have to wear a face mask or get charged lots of money because he takes the bus. Not me, I'm in my care. Not happening here. Guys, we'll see you soon on A Better Tomorrow. Welcome back. Mom, I'm laughing right now because of Grant. So if you're talking about why I'm laughing on this show, it's because foolishness is always happening. Sometimes it's not on. So welcome back, everybody. If you get a chance, and we were just talking about with Grant quickly, what I brought up is like only a small piece of some of the nonsense that's happening behind all of this other stuff that they pushed out to distract us. There's a lot going on in our background we have to pay attention to. Sure. That's why we're here. So Dave, let's hear what's going on in Toronto.
Yeah, so as you know, there are many cities, places around the world right now who are screaming defund the police.
Yes.
Right. I know in LA they passed a motion to go ahead and defund the police. I don't remember exactly the numbers. However, though, Toronto here in our city, there has been cries. Right. In fact, that picture right there, that's taken right outside Grosvenor, the police headquarters.
Is that, hold on, is that an actual, like, did someone, like...
Yeah, they painted it. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this past Monday, the city council rejected a move to ask Toronto Police to cut its budget in 2021 by at least 10%. Right? Instead, the council voted in favor of a series of motions backed.
Sorry, I was trying to share the show.
Really? That's what's going on right now?
Sorry.
Listen, man, come on. We have stuff to do.
I'm trying to get it out there. I'm trying to get it out for people. Keep going, babe. I'm listening.
Instead, the council voted in favor for a series of motions backed by Mayor John Tory, which proposed reforms that don't include immediate defunding of the police. These reforms included developing alternate ways for police to respond to calls that don't involve weapons, a call for Police Services Board to provide council with a line-by-line breakdown of the budget, and ask the council to commit to eradicating racial profiling in policing. See, again, EMER, right? And I'm going to keep on mentioning it because I really want our people and everybody's tuning in to understand, regards these levels, right? In regards to how white supremacy is not only established but refined, right? Now, when this gentleman said he wants to go ahead and actually, propose reforms, right, and not only to cut the police fund, well, they don't cut it, they're actually going to go ahead and increase the police fund.
Sorry.
Right?
That's drastic.
Yes. Very.
Wow.
Right? So one of Tory's motions approved by council was to actually see the police budget increase by $5 million in 2021 if the request for body-worn cameras for all officers is fully implemented. Okay. Now, as much as, of course, wearing a body cam, right, may, I guess, allude to some sort of like safety, right?
For who?
For like politicians.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We've all known and we've all seen in regards to the police who've worn body cameras. It simply hasn't done anything in regards to, of course,
stopping the violence.
There you go. Or leading towards them doing less racial profiling.
Yes.
Right? So it's interesting and it's really sad in regards to, of course, what's taking place. Now, the voting. I want to get some people in regards to some notable names who actually voted for the mayor's reforms. Okay. Right? Michael Ford, who is the nephew of Doug Ford.
Yep.
Right. Mike Cole, who heads up Eglinton or Little Jamaica,
Lawrence, yeah.
right? And Michael Thompson, right? And I want people to go out there and remember the name Michael Thompson, right? And the reason why I say that is this. Now, Michael Thompson, he once sat on the board, the police board, right? And actually, at one point in time, he also asked the police budget to be cut. Right? For those who don't know right now, Michael Thompson, right? He sits as the nightmare, right?
Yes,
so everything
right.
that goes through entertainment sits on his desk, right? So by means, like, they're playing games with our lives, right? And again, at the end of the day, right, we have to be hip to the game, right? Sandy Hudson, who is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Toronto, she's quoted as saying how she is very frustrated, but beyond that, I'm so incredibly embarrassed that this is our city council, right? Mind you, for those who want to go to the list of demands that Black Lives Matter Toronto had made, by means, go to their website, jump online. It's an easy Google search for them to go ahead and actually look up some of that stuff.
Okay.
One item that they asked for was for the police budget to be cut in half.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know if that was realistic or not. However, though, them not cutting it at all and only increasing it, I don't know how that helps us as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, very, very much.
Okay.
Right. I'm not exactly sure, guys. So when the proposed motions will be brought up again, but I mean, tune in. Definitely tune in. Take it up with your city councilor, your MP, by means, and get to find out a little more information. So what's happening?
So people were demanding so I just want to make sure I'm clear on this story. People were demanding to defund the police. And instead, the government has increased money to give to the police.
That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
If the police services board, if they actually agree to wear body cams, then yes, their budget will be increased.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Now, in the States, as you probably heard, of course.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Touchy subject.
I'm telling you, man. So they've actually broken their own record for new cases, right? In fact, this came in as of late last night. The total stood at 55,274 new cases.
Wow.
Yes. I don't know. Remember, if you have a cold, if you catch a cold right now, they're going to label it as
corona. It's true. Allergies, you have corona.
Man, I
Jesus
tell you,
have
man.
mercy.
Right, the daily U.S. tally stood, right, and which broke the previous single-day record, which was 54,771 set by Brazil on June 19th.
Brazil.
Right, Johns Hopkins University, they're actually the ones who actually track the virus worldwide.
Okay.
Currently, they said that there has been a number, 2.7, a little over 2.7 million cases, right, so far, right?
In the States.
In the States, which is the highest since outside of China.
Look what I got you.
Oh, lovely, beautiful. Right, because I got some questions. I want to roll out, keep going, continuing,
Okay.
right? But I do have some questions afterwards.
Okay.
Right. So besides U.S., Brazil, they have 1.4 million cases, or actually closer to 1.5 million. Russia has approximately 660,000 cases, right? And Brazil, cases attributed.
United States.
There you go. Right.
Has, 128,000.
There you go, man. So I mean, it's
61,000.
It is. It's strange and it's interesting, considering that, of course, Florida has just received their increase as well. I think they broke their own single-day record, right? But again, I mean, they're playing games with our lives. And the reason why I said it is this. Sports is set to resume in the state of Florida. Basketball is around the corner. Yes,
No,
basketball is around the corner.
Not starting back. Okay.
Soccer is around the corner,
That's
and both
done.
of them will be taking place at Walt Disney in Florida. Right, baseball. Oh my gosh! Wow. For those who don't know, so baseball just approved a 60-game schedule. Right, the Toronto Blue Jays, they have the ability to go and train downtown at the Rogers Center. However, they are asking for a request to travel back and forth across the border. Play games with our lives, family. Definitely playing games with our life.
Oh boy.
Yes. Yes. Right. So I mean, like in the event that all of this is taking place, especially with, of course, the number of outbreaks, the increase of the number of outbreaks, why are they continuing to do stuff like this?
Because then everyone gets to wear face masks, and then everyone's fine. It's going to protect you.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. You know, of course, more places are I guess leaning towards mandatory masks out in public. Texas, Kansas.
Texas is a hot spot.
Yes, Arizona. Right, there's another one I think that's leaning towards it. Out in LA, there's a $250 citation for not wearing one. Right, so
Okay.
it's very serious right now.
Look ahead. Do we have a Texas hotspot map there? Texas hotspot.
Here we go. I can't tell which were, I'm gonna say
No,
Dallas
it's just,
or Galveston or anything like
there
that.
you
But
go.
there you go, right?
If you're from there, you understand it.
Yes, absolutely, right. At the end of the day, I mean, like I said, there's more talk about wearing masks and vaccination as opposed to taking care of our bodies, right?
You can't go there yet. Trust me. Don't go there yet, Dave.
Right.
This mask topic, we're about to go in on that. Like, I feel bad because I see people wearing the masks and I'm like, I get it. I completely understand why, even though the mask is really doing nothing for you at all. If anything, it's going to make you sicker. But we'll talk about that another day, and definitely look out for it this week in the upcoming Toronto Caribbean newspaper.
There you go.
Trust me, look out for that. When we get back, we're going to talk two things. We're going to talk a little bit more Gates because, you know, I just want to, like, I always have to wrap him in when we're talking about coronavirus. Since if mainstream can do it,
Why not, right?
I'm going to do it. Okay. I have to let you guys know that he's part of this as well. Okay. So we'll be talking Bill Gates, and we're going to also be talking the fact that, again, Dave, starting this Thursday, did you wear a mask yesterday?
We'll talk about it after the break.
We'll see you guys. Did you wear your mask yesterday? I'm trying to figure out, guys, how to share this out so that everyone can see it.
Don't worry, we'll get to it afterwards.
Okay, fine. But I was really trying to get it out.
I-
Okay, guys, welcome
don't worry.
back. Welcome back.
It'll definitely be out.
So if you're just joining us, we've tackled a couple things, sort of kind of surrounding the coronavirus. I was talking about in the very first segment, you should check it out. Just some of the things that Mr. Bill and his wife, Mr. Melinda, have been in.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
She looks like a man. Okay. Sorry. I'm just saying. From someone who looks like a woman. She looks like a man. So I do have a video. You know what? I'm wondering if I should play this first. I think, you know what? I think it'll be a good way to start it.
Yeah,
Let's play this, and I'm going to jump into why I played the video in a minute.
Here in Wisconsin, but there's a new epidemic worrying Wisconsin doctors.
The World Health Organization says something called Disease X is the latest concern threatening people right now around the world. News 3's Christina Laurie joins us to explain Disease X and why it's so dangerous. Good morning.
Good morning, Adam and Danica. Disease X is so dangerous because of its unknown potential. It's not a disease in and of itself, but rather a classification given to a group of diseases. The next potential threats to Madison, America, and/or the world. Wisconsin's Department of Health has an emergency operations plan in place to respond to infectious disease outbreaks. It's the same plan that works on everything from a natural disaster to a toxic chemical spill. Part of the emergency plan's mission now is to research and develop steps to deal with the next health epidemic, Disease X, a mysterious condition with unknown effects.
We have outbreaks every day, and people don't necessarily realize that. And basically what our job is to investigate the situations, try to find a source for the disease outbreak situation, and then put steps in place to mitigate the spread of disease.
Stephanie Smiley.
So I wanted everyone to see that video because there's something that I found interesting. Again, it was kind of brought to my attention. Things are kind of starting to resurface from like a couple years ago. I found some articles from 2018. So in my very first one, it's from the Telegraph, September 2018. The article is called Disease X.
Mm-hmm.
So Gates warns of turning point for Africa as population booms. So this was his article. And in there, Gates outlines 3 principal global health security concerns: antibiotic resistance, cuts to government funding to improve health in the world's poorest countries, and the unknown pathogen likely to start the next big pandemic, referred to by the World Health Organization as Disease X. 2018. Okay? We are not fully prepared for the next global pandemic. This was his words. We're not. 2018, brethren.
Yeah.
They knew something was happening.
Absolutely.
They had a disease called Disease X because they hadn't named it yet.
Yep.
Okay, and they've been saying that, they've been stating this for a while. That's their argument.
Yeah.
So Disease X, we said back then, this is them talking, would likely result from a virus, and when I say I'm meaning World Health Organization, would likely result from a virus originating in animals and would emerge somewhere on the planet where economic development drives people and wildlife together. That sounds like China. So Disease X would probably be confused with another disease early in the outbreak. You mean like the flu? And would spread quickly and silently, exploiting networks of human travel and trade. 2018, brethren. Okay. It would reach multiple countries and thwart containment. Disease X would have a mortality rate higher than a seasonal flu, but would spread as easily as the flu. It would shake financial markets even before it achieves pandemic status. Guys, this is something that was written. It's already been said.
Mm-hmm.
In a nutshell, COVID-19 is Disease X. Okay? It's here. Okay. The World Economic Forum website. This is from March 2018. The next pandemic is coming. A mutated flu has long been a contender for the source of our next pandemic, according to virologists and epidemiologists. So this is my thing. World Health Organization knew about it. Who is this? Hold on. Let me say this first before I even say that. And there's always the possibility that someone intentionally could create and spread a pandemic disease. That was said in that last article.
Right.
That's the scariest global disaster that Melinda Gates could ever imagine. This is what she said. Okay? Happening within the next 10 years. This is March 2018. All right? This is something that she recently said in an interview. Well, this is 2018. It was recently said to someone. So, another article by the Telegraph. The fact that the WHO was talking about Disease X in 2018 does not mean that it knew about COVID. What? Can you explain that to me?
I can't.
Did they not explain COVID down to the T? Guys, these articles, I'm putting them up for you to go find them. Did they not explain it to the T?
I cannot explain it.
Okay. It means that they were aware that some kind of disease was emerged. They couldn't have called it, right?
Right.
But if they described it to the T, they knew something was coming.
What's happening?
What I've noticed is that the World Health Organization heavily pushes the idea of scientific research towards vaccines. Guess who they're funded by? The same person who was against abortions and has been sterilizing women in Africa because of what, Dave? Population control, guys. Here, he's the main. You know when someone says like, you know, if usually in a situation there's one main problem.
Yes.
There's a center. There's a nucleus.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates is the nucleus of population control. COVID-19 has been some straight up population control.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why do they never talk about natural defenses? Sensible knew that this flu-like thing would come in the next 10 years. Why has there been no, vitamin C maybe, or, maybe start eating better, cut down on your junk food,
Right.
Drink more smoothies, eat more vegetables,
Right.
follow your 5 food groups, cut out milk because it's pus, cow pus, all these things. Like, tell me why they haven't done that. Why has it been vaccine? It's coming. We should get it. It's coming. We should get a vaccine. They described this thing to the T, Dave. I was so scared today when I read this. I was like, wow. We're not paying attention. Plain sight, guys.
Yeah, right there.
Refinement.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So, as we probably heard during the week, that our mayor has now instituted.
Did you wear your mask yesterday? Did you wear your mask yesterday, Dave?
So, for those who don't know, I am a pedestrian. Right? I do take the bus, local transit. No, I did not wear a mask yesterday. I'm saying that right now. But
all
I did.
Types of fine.
But I did travel with water. As a matter of fact, CMOS. But no, it's high zinc, which is definitely it's needed in this fight.
Do you think the World Health Organization knows about zinc?
Hey, listen, a doctor came out and told us what we should do to go and protect ourselves.
Okay.
So we're okay.
Okay.
All right. So the TTC, their pandemic recovery plans will enter a crucial new phase on Thursday, this coming Thursday, that is, when the transit agency will start requiring its passengers to wear masks and will lift restrictions instituted earlier in the crisis to allow for social distancing on its buses.
So you have like 6 days. And you have to wear a mask.
No, actually, it's already implemented. All right, so the changes come as ridership, and particularly on the bus network, continues to rebound from the dramatic drop caused by the pandemic, a trend that has made eliminating crowding increasingly difficult and compelled the agency to institute other measures to contain the spread of the virus. Now, the fine, right? The fine is $195. Yeah, it's $195. Now, listen to what TTC CEO Rick Leary had to say, right? So, he said, the pivot in strategy indicates that local officials have done a good job of containing the pandemic, and riders feel safe taking transit again as the city opens up. Well,
didn't you get cussed off the other day?
I'll go ahead and share my story in a moment, right? All of a sudden, you're seeing those numbers, the ridership numbers creep up. For me, that's a positive sign. Well, yeah, because, since everything else is opening back up, and you have more people who take the bus than drive, yeah, people have to go somewhere to, to make their ends meet.
Yeah.
Right? So
people are going back to work now.
Of course. And it's happening, right? So he said that this again, I just love the wording, right?
You're good at it.
Yes, very much. So their aim is to educate. So they're saying that you may not actually go ahead and actually get the fine right off the bat, right? But as we all know, it's coming. It's here, right? 195 once again, right? Is the
what
amount.
What are they educating you on?
You're right.
Where's the education part? Where's the education piece in this?
Well, that's what's going on right now. That's what they're saying. They're saying, right, that the agency plans to encourage people to comply by using education and not enforcement. That's exactly what's coming from them.
But there's a $195
But 190,
fine.
yes.
Is that not an enforcing fact?
Well, keep in mind this. Last week we had mentioned, right, that Doug Ford had said there is no mandatory law for masks in the province of Ontario.
That's right. So you don't have to wear your mask.
There's no mandatory law.
But TTC says they will fine you.
Yes. Also, the website, was it fightthefines.com or .ca? Sorry, we're just getting an update right now.
Oh, you can fight your fines. We'll let people know that. So
fightthefines.com, right? If anybody who has been issued a ticket or a citation because of their not wearing a mask on the TTC, go to fightthefines.com. They are offering free legal aid services. And like I said, because Doug Ford has come out and said that there is no mandatory law in Ontario, right? They will go ahead and assist all of us in regards to whatever may come our way.
So you try to use trickery.
I tell you, man, refinement. We're living in the age of refinement right now, where the words are the most deadliest, where they can't use the force, right?
They use words.
Exactly. Exactly.
And $195 fine.
Right.
Lord Jesus.
Now, I know you want me to go ahead and share my story, so I
Please
will.
share your story.
Right? Because, like I said, I'm an avid pedestrian. So I'm on the bus, right? And I go right to the back row because it's empty, right? Because, the road's right in front of me. There is a lady who's sitting in the window seat and has her bag right next to her. And there's a gentleman on the opposite side sitting pretty much on the window seat, and his bag goes next to him as well. So I sit in the seat directly behind her bag because I know, right? It's sensitive time now, right? So by means,
You're being respectful.
Exactly.
Of space.
So she looks back at me, an African woman. She looks back at me and says, "You're sitting too close." So I ask her, "Where would you like me to go ahead and sit?" She, and she nods her head, across, I guess across the row. So I ask her, "Would you like me to go sit closer to him?" Right? And I'm speaking in regards to the gentleman who's, sitting by the window seat that has his bag over, right beside him. Right? She looks at him, looks at me, she takes her bag and puts her bag, in her lap, right? And keeps her head forward.
That's me, yo.
Right? So
That was very, very well done. Very well played, Dave.
but she was wearing a mask. So I'm not that sure in regards to,
I like how you handled that, though.
But
Where would you like me to sit?
No, but that's what I'm asking her, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I can understand the fear,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
However, right, if everybody in the bus is wearing a mask and I happen to come on and I'm not wearing a mask, I'm not sure in regards to how I'm more contagious than you. If you're supposed to be protected right now, that means you can't catch anything from me. So you're all right.
Guys.
And like I said, I travel, see Moss for the summer. Make sure you get some.
So, you know what? We're going to jump into our last segment. I think people know everything you know about that. Do you want to go any more about TTC?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Fight the Fine.
FightTheFines.com, family.
Okay. When we get back, we have one last segment. I'm actually taking a piece from the Toronto Caribbean newspaper that we just released. Our new one's coming out on the 8th of this month. But we have two doctors, Dr. W. Gifford Jones and Diane Gifford Jones, who actually talk about racial biases in medicine, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Lovely.
And then we talk about the NFL.
Yeah. Lift every voice.
We'll see you guys soon. Oh, Lord. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the last segment of our very packed, fulfilled, entertaining, and educating show brought to you by TTC.
TTC.
Yeah, they're educating. That's what we're doing.
Yes. FightTheFines.com, family.
To get the joke, you have to go back to the last segment. Since they're educating, I'd love to see their educational piece.
Yes,
So,
very much.
you know what? I really hope you guys get a chance to go back and check out the rest of the show. If you're just joining us, even now, comment, like, share, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down, respond, react.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. You know what? Like, again, it's where we're getting things out to you and give it a little bit of a different perspective with a little bit of humor, because that's just what we do. But some of these topics are serious things. There's no laughing matter, but you know, we have to find a way for us to like spoon feed this information, because you guys are getting blasted with so much. It's really a lot. So we have two doctors who actually write for the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I'm so thankful to them. Dr. W. Gifford Jones and Dr. Diane Gifford Jones. And they actually gave a real, some perspective on race relations and health in the last edition. So I just kind of wanted to read a little bit of what they found so you guys can understand. So I think this is important even for us. So this week they talked about, does race factor in medical decisions? Does it affect treatment? And they said, you bet it does. Okay, and these are two doctors who have been doing this for years. Dr. Gifford is 96 years old.
Right.
So he's been around for a while. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown that North American blacks have not fared well. Blacks have borne 35% of deaths, while they comprise 13.4% of the U.S. population. So Dr. Elizabeth Chapman, she's the assistant professor of medicine at the University of Wisconsin, wrote in the Journal of General Internal Medicine that implicit bias among physicians impacts clinical decision-making that perpetuates disparities. So basically, because that's just a real fancy way of saying people have biases.
Yes.
Doctors have biases, and when they see you as a black person, they instantly have a bias if they're not black. Even the black people who are doctors have a bias. They have a bias towards you,
right,
not against you. So there's biases that are happening. Her research showed that unconscious judgments built on negative stereotypes affect diagnosis, treatment, and patient follow-up. Imagine that. I know this because I have my personal experience. It's why I shifted doctors about 5 years ago.
Right.
Because I felt that my doctor wasn't doing anything. Like, he would see me and you're not helping me. You're not answering my question. He actually made me feel bad once, which is why I was like, I'm out, right? So according to Chapman, it's African American women who receive the worst treatment, and that it's unfortunately quite a common problem. Wow, I was a statistic, I didn't even realize it, okay? So why does it happen? If the doctor has a racial bias, he or she will have a general impression that African American women are more likely to be uncooperative or less likely to do what the doctor has prescribed. Why did you just look at me almost knowingly?
Oh boy. Wow.
Moreover, the gender and race of patients influences whether these doctors follow their usual treatment guidelines. So they said basically that because we are a little bit more hard-headed, they don't even want to deal with us. Because we're not going to follow it anyways, so why bother?
Why bother, right?
So to overcome this bias, Chapman suggests doctors should take the implicit association tests developed by psychologists at Harvard University, the University of Virginia, and the University of Washington. You can actually try this online. So I found it online so you guys can take a look at what it is. So there's an actual test that you can take to check your biases. So the test gives you an opportunity to assess your consciousness and unconscious preferences for over 90 different topics, ranging from pets to political issues, ethnic groups to sports teams, entertainers, and styles of music.
Okay.
So the sessions require 10-15 minutes to complete for each one. Okay? What can you do to protect yourself? Because at the end of the day, there's not much, as you as a patient walking into a doctor's office, there's not much you can do right now if your patient has a bias against you, right? You can't do anything about them, but what can you do for yourself? Be your own best advocate, ask questions, push for answers, don't stop, always get a second opinion. Number one, this is your body. If what the doctor doesn't sit well with you, don't just say, okay, I'm leaving it at that. Go get a second opinion. And you know what? Talk about changing your doctors. If you're uncomfortable like I was with my doctor, change your doctors. Even if you have to wait in a list, at least you know the change is coming. If you're a woman and you prefer a woman doctor, search for a woman doctor. You know, if you feel uncomfortable with the race of your doctor, search for a black doctor. It's okay. Or whoever you want to feel comfortable with. Search. Get what you need.
Yeah.
But protect yourself.
Very true. So our last story for the afternoon has to do with, of course, the NFL, the National Football League, or as my friends like to call it, the No Fun League. Lift Every Voice and Sing will be played and performed live before each and every game.
What?
Yep. Yeah. All right. As the league considers a way or ways to recognize victims of systematic racism. Now, I don't know if it's enough or even if it's an actual start. Remember, of course, the whole situation with Colin Kaepernick, right? And he's been expressing, of course, the unfair treatment of our people, brothers and sisters across the border, right? And then, of course, so the owners and as well as the league, I guess the head honcho for the league has went ahead and conspired to make sure this gentleman will never play another game of football in the national
Now they
football
want to play.
league.
Now they want to sing, lift every voice and sing.
And now they want to go ahead and actually play the national anthem, right? Ladies and gentlemen, again, we just got to be hip to the game. That's what it comes down to. Especially our brothers and sisters who actually play in the league or are part of the league, right? The league is comprised of at least 80 to 85% of us.
Imagine if they just stopped playing. I want you to imagine that.
Yep.
If black people really wanted to take a stand,
Stop playing.
stop playing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball,
Yeah.
football, baseball.
Uh-huh.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
You want to see market crash?
Of course.
Stop playing.
Of course. Right? But again, right, it comes down to, of course, the money. Nobody wants to come off the money, right? Everybody remembers the situation with the Los Angeles Clippers where the owner, Donald Sterling, made those very disparaging remarks, right? However, yes, they kicked them out and they found a new owner, but yet they still kept the name Clipper, right? Which a lot of people don't understand, that the Clipper is a slave ship. So they still kept the name, right? So, I mean, you know, like, as much as now they are enabling, of course, you know, the national anthem to be played, you know, I believe that some stadiums may have the BLM, I guess, tag on some of the fields. You know, even with basketball now, I think some of the actually players will be able to go ahead and actually make statements and place statements on the back of the jerseys as opposed to having their last name there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that, number one, we're doing it for the right reasons. And number two, the power's in the people. And it's like you said just a while ago, and we just stopped and said, listen, we're not doing it whatsoever until the conditions change.
If you want to hurt someone, touch their pockets.
Yep.
If we just stopped as a nation, as a people, just stopped putting money into their hands,
Yep.
you want to see systemic racism stop?
Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in this week. It's been a slice.
It's been fun. I enjoy it every week. We have a video. Is this going to get us clipped?
Let's hope not. We have descendants of Frederick Douglass, who are, of course, July the 4th is tomorrow. So by means, you know, they're saying, they're actually reenacting his July the 4th speech. So by means, let's go ahead and head to the video.
Have a good night, guys. Have
See
a
you
great
next
day.
week. Peace and love, family.
Do I look there or look there? Okay. Okay. My name is Alexa Ann Watson, and I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Frederick
Douglass is my great-great-great-great.
I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Frederick Douglass.
I am the great-great-great-great-grandchild.
I've been counting on my fingers since I was like 5.
Whenever you're ready, here we go.
This is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom.
Fellow citizens, I shall not presume to dwell at length on the associations that cluster about this day. The simple story of it is that 76 years ago, the people of this country were British subjects.
Oppression makes a wise man mad. Your fathers were wise men, and if they did not go mad, they became restive under this treatment.
With brave men, there's always a remedy for oppression.
They succeeded, and today you reap the fruits of their success. The freedom gained is yours, and you, therefore, may properly celebrate this anniversary.
Fellow citizens, pardon me. Allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence?
Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us?
I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary.
Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common.
The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me.
The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me.
This 4th of July is yours, not mine.
You may rejoice, I must mourn.
Fellow citizens, Above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions.
At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument is needed.
Oh, had I the ability and could reach the nation's ear, I